So we have just entered into the 11th month of the Hebrew calendar. It is the month of Shavat. This, the first day of this month is when Moses broke it all down, gave them friendly reminders, said everything that God told him to say, and pretty much gave them the law again. So this teaching, the explanation, the impartation that began on the first day of Shavat, it was the marking of the end of the 40-year journey. It was the end of their wilderness season. It was, you are getting ready to cross over. I can't go with y'all, so I'm finna go up here and die. Okay. But you guys are about to cross over. So we are in a season right now where we have come to the end of our wilderness season and we are about to cross over. We are in that transitional moment right before we go in, but we have already come out, right? So this was the final season of preparation. It was the equipping of the people, letting them know y'all about to step in, y'all about to take possession of what God promised you. You about to take possession of what God promised Abraham, like way back when, right? So it's during this month that the children of Israel received the law for the second time. It was a fresh outpouring of God's instructions, right? It was Moses giving them wisdom again, or for the last time. So it's believed to be a time when instruction, understanding, and wisdom are presented from heaven for the entire year ahead. So this kind of overlaps with us in our Gregorian calendar because we cross over into a new calendar year. And this is when everybody does vision boards. This is when we plan our year out. This is when we have goals. This is where we try to figure out what we're going to do for this year and how this year is going to be different from last year and how we can be more productive, right? Biblically, it overlaps in that this is a time when instruction, understanding, and wisdom are downloaded and are presented from heaven, and it's for this year ahead. This is the time where God is going to give you instruction. This is the time where God is going to give you wisdom. This is the time where God is going to give you direction and tell you what it is that you should be doing in 2026. So Shabbat is the season to prepare your heart for transition. You are coming out of your wilderness season. You are going into the promised land. This is the gap in between the promise and the fulfillment. This is where a lot of people lose heart. This is where a lot of people lose faith. This is where a lot of people start questioning if God really said what he said, right? Because this is where we start to see a lag. We start to see a delay. We're right on the cusp. We feel the anticipation. We feel it in our soul, in our spirit, man, that I feel like something's coming, but I'm not seeing it yet, right? This is where what God said, it doesn't look like what God said, but I can feel it. It's almost as if I'm living from the future, but my body and my right now is just stuck in the present. Like, this is the gap in between the promise and the fulfillment. The Hebrew tribe associated with the month of Shavat is Asher. Asher's land was rich and abundant. It was full of olives. It created a flow of oil like a spring. When Jacob blessed Asher, he said, "Bread from Asher shall be rich, and he shall yield royal dainties." That's Genesis chapter 49, verse 20. When Moses blessed Asher, the tribe of Asher, he said, "Asher is most blessed of sons. Let him be favored by his brothers, and let him dip his foot in oil. Your sandals shall be iron and bronze. As your days, so shall your strength be." And that's Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 2 and verse 25. Shavat is the month of trees. This is a time, this is the month where almond trees begin to blossom. So the 15th of Shavat is marked by a special holiday, and it's called the New Year for trees. The almond tree is the tree most closely associated with Shavat because in Shavat, the almond tree, it suddenly burst into blossom. So the Hebrew word for the almond tree, it comes from the root word that means to watch, to be watchful, to keep watch over, and to be on the alert. We actually see this in Jeremiah chapter 1 because the almond tree is the tree that watches, because God used the almond tree to teach Jeremiah how to be a prophet. He said, "Jeremiah, what do you see?" And he said, "I see a branch of the almond tree." And he said, "You see correctly. You're right," said the Lord, "for I am watching over my word to perform it." So although we're in that gap, okay, we're in that gap between the promise and the fulfillment, God is watching over his word to perform it. Do not be discouraged in this transitional period. God is watching over his word to perform it. Set a guard on your mouth. Don't give voice to unbelief. Don't murmur. Don't complain. Instead, be careful to declare what God has said. Declare what he promised you. Claim his promises. Declare his word. Thank him by faith that what he has said, he will do. So use this month to get in alignment, to get in position, to transition effectively, to transition in a way that is pleasing to God. The Hebrew letter associated with Shabbat means righteous, just, or aligned with what is right. This is the month to be aligned and get in alignment with God. God is righteous, right? God is just. To be in righteousness means to be in right standing with God, right? So this is the month to be in alignment, to be in righteousness, to be in right standing with God, and to receive his justice, his righteousness, to receive his defense, right? He said, you need only be still and God will fight for you. This is a moment to be, this is the month to be still so that you can hear and receive direction and wisdom and guidance, so that you know what to do, so that you know what God wants you to do in 2026.